Hey there viewers, a Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Age of the Prime's Sureshot. Now, this figure is kind of weird. Well, not the figure itself. The figure itself is absolutely fine, but the history of the figure. You see, this is Sureshot's first ever figure since actual G1. So, yeah. But back in, 2024? There was actually listings for an upcoming Sureshot figure in Legacy United, I think it was. The toilets are starting to blur together for me. But we had two listings for him. One in Wave 2, one in Wave 5. Both just never happened. I think one was replaced with Cosmos. In fact, and it was Origins Bumblebee that replaced them. So twice he was shouted out of Legacy United. And that kind of upset me for whatever reason. Why? I have no idea. Because it's just a random Target Master from 40-something years ago. But finally, in Age of the Primes, he's here. And honestly, I'm just glad he's finally got a new toy. Because he does look kind of cool. But yeah, looking at the box. Well, got the standard Age of the Primes packaging. So we've got Sureshot here in both of his modes. Target Master Sureshot. Okay. Takes 25 steps to transform him. This side we've got a picture of Sureshot. This side we've got some of the primes. The back we got him in both modes. And we got his partner, Spoilsport. So there we go, and that's pretty much it for the box. And well, moving on to the figure itself. Well, it's meant to be a direct homage to how the original toy looked. And honestly, I think it was pretty cool. It's meant to be some sort of like weird Cybertronian Baja buggy, I'm fairly certain. Like, obviously around, I think this was 87 that this guy came out originally. They just completely forego the, like, realistic car modes around this point. So, this is just some Cybertronian Doom buggy, but I think it looks really cool. See, it's kind of got, like, a sun vibe to it, because we've got yellow, orange, red. A very, like, warm color scheme going on here. Yeah, for details, we've got the front here. Don't really have a front, like, bumper per se. We more have these little, like, pylons. Got a bit of red right there. Got some red on maybe the engine. I don't know. It's like some kind of engine block, I guess. But we do have a port here that is for Spoilsport, which we'll look at later. Got a little windshield right there. Also, what symbol? Got a spoiler, which is pretty cool. Got the wheels, which, for once, we got a car mode that doesn't wobble around. This is actually fairly stable. And it rolls. Like, the wheels are pegged in, so kind of rattly when rolling. So it doesn't really roll the greatest, unfortunately. If they were pinned in, then that would be beautiful, but no, they're just pegged in. But oh well. But you can see the beautiful bits of red right there. Yeah, red's my favorite color. Underneath, we don't really have that much to talk about, but the back, we've got... Yeah, those are hands. So we just have his hands just, I guess, posing as exhaust pipes. I mean, if they could, like, fold up into the arms, but it's not that big a deal, to be honest. I could ignore that. Like, honestly, I think this is a really good-looking alt mode. And the way that it transforms, too, is actually pretty surprising. Like, it does some really wacky stuff. But, of course, first of all, we've got Spoilsport here, which I guess let's do a really quick look at him. So here we've got him in gun mode. Yeah, typical Target Master affair. Yeah, this is a Target Master. It's not a Battle Master because it's not using one of the siege molds. Like, I remember when Point Blank was shown off, people were complaining because it wasn't a Battle Master, but I mean, you know, budgets and all that. And here, Spoilsport's pretty fine. Like, yeah, we just fold that up. And he's pretty much just doing yoga. Ugh, pretty tight, though. And there is one issue. It's kind of easy to pop the gun barrel off, so just be careful. But yeah, we've got Spoilsport here. Pretty basic. Like, essentially, there's no articulation on this guy. The arms can't move. He can essentially just sit, and that's about it. And even then, he's kind of like lifted up by the gun barrels, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy. Putting him with, what was it? I think it's Peacemaker. I think it's Point Blank's guy. But yeah, putting him with Peacemaker, we can see that the colors are kind of swapped. You know, this guy's got a black torso and red legs. This guy's got a red torso and black legs. And the way they transform is also kind of different because with this guy, he's held by the torso. Yeah, well, they're both held by the torso, but the way that they fold up is definitely different. But yeah, this does make me want like any crosshairs so we can get his partner, which I'm struggling to remember his name. It's a good thing I've got my phone on hand so I can quickly look it up. Pinpointer, that was his name. I don't know why I was struggling to remember the name there, but yeah. Hopefully we get like a new crosshairs soon so we can get Pinpointer as well in this style. You know, just for consistency and all that. But yeah, setting Peacemaker off to the side. Let's quickly transform Spoilsport again. Yeah, you can see that the gun barrels just plug into the feet there. And he plugs on like so. Like the port right there. And that's how he attaches on. So that's pretty cool. And I'm fairly certain you can also attach Peacemaker on like so. Yeah, you can. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, Spoilsport seems to be a lot better, like, fitting together. Like, with Peacemaker's gun barrel, that just flops around. But here, Spoilsport's one actually, like, tabs in. But anyway, here he is with Point Blank, and you know, let's just take these guns off. So here we have Sureshot with, well, the other Target Master that I've got. So here he is with Point Blank. Now, I could also have Siege Crosshairs, but unfortunately, I don't have that figure in. Even then, I feel like we could get a new Crosshairs that's more accurate, you know? Because Siege Crosshairs was more just a blue Siege Ironhide. But yeah, these two do look pretty good together. And plus, they are reissuing this guy. And, like, so Point Blank's going to be in the future Age of the Primes wave, if you miss out on him. I mean, the figure's kind of in my opinion. like it's kind of fiddly and all that. But yeah, I think it's probably just to go with Sureshot here. But honestly, they do look pretty good together, and I'm just glad that we're finally getting the Autobot Target Masters after, what, getting the Decepticon ones back in Titans Return. That was 10 years ago. I'm getting old. But, yeah. And I've already showed the two Target Master weapons together, so let's put them with the G1 toy. And honestly, they did a pretty good job of replicating the G1 figure. Granted, there are some differences in how he transforms. You can see that the arms transform differently. Like here, they're just like facing downwards. In the G1 toy, they sort of fold up under the spoiler. But yeah, they did a pretty good job of replicating the G1 figure. Like this is red instead of orange now, but it still goes well. Maybe there was like a bit of silver paint to replicate the stickers, but that probably wasn't in the budget, so I can understand that. And there's a bit of extra detailing. Like, you can see how the wheels look a bit more detailed, it seems like. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job of replicating the G1 figure. Plus they added some of their own, like, I guess, Generations twist to So yeah. So that's pretty much it for vehicle mode. Let's move on to the transformation. Now, just before we move on to the transformation, one thing I thought the show was, can Spoilsport take blast effects? And yes, he can. So that's pretty cool. Well, just have to try and line that up, but yep, he can take blast effects. So there you go. It's crazy how it's crazy how blast effects, even though they've not made like new molds since what, Siege for blast effects, which they really should start doing that again. But they're still supporting blast effects, what, 8 years later? It's crazy. And honestly, I'm all for it, because, you know, they really, well, blast effects really elevate photos, you know. They help with gunfight photos and all that. Just, yeah, remember not to actually leave them on the figures on display, so, yeah, just keep that in mind, but quick tangent aside, let's actually get this guy transformed. So quickly starting with Spoilsport here. Here, I showed this earlier, so there we go. So, the transformation for this guy is honestly kind of wacky. Like I said this earlier, but it actually is, like to describe it, he kind of folds in half. Like, you just have to see this. So to start, we're going to take these front orange pylons, and like, we rotate, like these rotate twice. Like once on this hinge, and then once on this hinge. So they tab into here. So yeah, they literally like double hinge around, which is crazy. But next, we're just going to untab these wheels, which literally tap into the arms, which is, again, crazy. And we'll just have these fold out, which I guess if you want to do like a fan hover mode, there you go. So you can do like a VTOL mode if you really want to. But yeah, we're just going to untab these from the arms, and for the arms themselves, they just fold up. And there's actually some accessories I didn't talk about earlier because I can't really take them out in vehicle mode, but I'll show them in robot mode, and it's the spoilers. But yeah, I'll talk I'll talk about them more in robot mode. But yeah, next up is fully going to unfold him. So, and on tabs from here. And he literally just unfurls like so. We can rotate the waist. And in fact, we can also take the legs and we can extend them out even more. Yeah, they'll separate when doing so, but it's fine. So we just extend out the legs, get the feet down, and then with the wheels here on this bit, rotate them around. And yeah, this is going to flip around right now, but these back wheels are just going to fold up into the legs. Make sure they click into place. Well, not really click into place, but they boom into place. If that makes any sense. Yeah, sort of like that. Next, we'll take this. In fact, I'll probably have to raise my camera a bit for this, but try and take this. In fact, I'll have to transform the arms first, I think. So just try and get these down. Rotate these out. Get the head down. And we'll leave the arms as such for now. Because then what I can do is have it like this. So it can rotate. And I'm just trying to remember the order of operations for this. There we go. So that just rotates around. Double hinges down. And it's like clicks into place if I remember. Yep, there we go. So that just goes into place. The shoulders tab in and they'll essentially cover up the gap. Can rotate the forearms around. And that's essentially it. So here we have Sureshot and robot mode. And yeah, that's definitely a transformation. Like, compared to Blastoff, who was my previous review, like that was pretty straightforward. This guy, you literally have to do origami with him. But honestly, I think it's quite fun. Like, once you figure out where things go, it's pretty fun. So, having a 360, you can see what... Well, you can see where things go. Like, this is now on his back. We've got the wheels here. And it kind of references how the G1 toy, he had, like, wheel butt cheeks, if I remember correctly. Not the case here, unfortunately, but oh well. But anyway, the head, we got the only bit of blue on him with the visor, which I think it's... I'm trying to see if this is the head that he has in the Rebirth or the Headmaster's show. So, there you go. But it's still a good looking head sculpt. Now, let's talk about the accessory that I couldn't talk about in the vehicle modes. Because these do come separately in the box. It's the spoiler pieces. Now, these are more meant to be, like, you attach them on and you just leave them on the figure forever, but these do easily come off, so be wary of that. And I guess you could hold them as, like, blades or something, or little shields. But honestly, I don't really like these pieces. Namely just because they're really easy to, like, knock off the figure. Like, hang on, if I get this back on. Same trying to grasp onto the arm to, like, move it. I could accidentally... You see? And I find it's most prominent when transforming him. You know, trying to nestle with the arms. Yeah, that's where the spoilers are the most annoying for me. So that's my biggest complaint, to be honest. Although, apparently, you can... Like, you can also get, like, a QC issue where you get, like, two of the same. For example, Mgo's video. It's kind of like my issue with my Chop Shop, where he came with, like, two of the same bug legs, so... Anyway. We also have... Oh, that's the wrong one, but... We also have Spoilsport. And I guess if you want, you can also have, like, multiple Target Master partners, but we'll bring this guy in later. And yeah, you can have it so it's two robots together, which is pretty cool, but come on. This guy's literally called a Target Master, so we can have it so he just plugs on like so. Although I do kind of wish that, like as I said earlier, if there was an option for the hand to flip up, so then, you know, he can literally attach onto the forearm out of the Headmaster's cartoon from like Takara. It's kind of like how Peacemaker again. He's got a port there. Although, like, there's no option to plug it into Point Blank's forearm. Would have been cool, but oh well. But yeah, so you can have that. Probably plug it onto his back if you want to. But yeah, there you go. And honestly, again, this just makes me want a new crosshairs. Although knowing Hasbro, they'll probably just reissue the Siege figure. But anyway, here is a Point Blank, and again, these guys do it pretty good together. See them with their respective Target Masters. So yeah. And here he is with the G1 toy. Now, the picture I'm using doesn't have, like, Spoilsport with him, but still. And we can see that they did a pretty good job. Like, granted, the G1 toy has it, well, like this, where the wheels are out. But still, I kind of prefer, like, the Age of the Primes figure where the, like, yeah, I prefer what the Age of the Primes toy does, where the wheels are actually folded in. So, yeah. Plus, again, it's quite accurate. The heads are different, but that was the same with most Autobot Target Masters. Like, the G1 toy has a pretty sideswipe looking head, if I'm being honest. Here, I'm fairly certain that's either from the Rebirth, the Headmasters, maybe both, I don't know. So, yeah, this is a pretty good update. Now, final thing, well, I can get the wheels fully, like, actually plugged in first. And that's the first time that that's happened. It's always when you're on camera, things just go wrong. There we go. But yeah, final thing, the articulation. So, head on the ball joints, because he can look up really far. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, the head's on the ball joint, so he can look up, down, he can look around. Arms can move, again, beware in case you knock off the spoiler piece, so just be careful of that. But the arm can move, although it will bump into the wheel there, so just try to maneuver around that. We do have bicep rotation, elbows, wrists. Unfortunately, I don't think. No, it doesn't seem like they rotate, unfortunately. Waist does rotate because that's part of the transformation. You can. So it goes up that far. Back about that far before it hits the pylon there. You can do the splits about that far. Swivel there at the thigh. Knee about that far before it hits into the wheel, but without the wheel, you get a much better range. Foot can move. Ankle pivot. So yeah, this guy is quite posable. Only thing I think he's missing is a wrist swivel, because honestly, the hand doesn't really do anything. I do wish that the hand either like moved in or at least swiveled, but that's more of a nitpick. For actual complaints, I honestly just wish that these stayed in better, especially during transformation. But at least he has the spoilers. With Point Blank, he didn't even have his like spoiler whatsoever. Like, you know, that little shield engine thing. Apparently he was gonna have it, but they cut it. Maybe the Prime's version is gonna have it. Like, I don't know. But that's honestly my biggest gripe, because I think this is a really fun figure. Like, would have just been the same figure that like had to come out in a Legacy United. I don't know, but honestly, I think that they did a really good job. He's fun. The transformation is really interesting. He looks cool. I freaking love this guy. For someone who's only had what, one of a toy, this is a really fun figure. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. He's fun to transform. He looks cool. He's fun to pose. Really, the only gripe is the accessories. And even then, you can probably glue those in. I don't know. So, yeah. Absolute recommendation right here. So, this has been my review on Age of the Prime Sureshot. And this is a Transformers fan signing off.